My name is John Ketchum, and my wife was abducted by aliens. Spent about 3 years and maybe $100,000 so far just looking for her. She was taken on September 7th, 2009. If you look here, this is a map of several flight patterns, or at least I call them flight patterns. Lights tend to appear for no longer than 5 night intervals, and then they start appearing 30 miles away. It's different in every state.
And why do you think that is?
Different strokes for different folks. If I put myself in the mind of a Gray, if I think tactically, I see these patterns as a type of elaborate reconnaissance.
How long was Jonathan your patient?
We worked together for nearly a year.
Jonathan has given you informed consent to discuss him as your patient on this documentary. Why do you think that is?
Jonathan is a very intriguing person. Deeply introverted, painfully obsessed. I think he's given informed consent mostly because of his ego. He sees a chance to tell his story.
Densely populated areas see less traffic, usually. But over the last couple of years, they've gotten bolder, snatching people up in New York. Long Island and upstate see the most traffic. That's where my wife was taken. We were out on vacation, walking on the shore. They came out of the sky.
Why do you think they've been abducting people?
Well, the prevailing theory is research, mostly anatomical.
What do you think?
I'm glad you asked. I'm really glad that you've agreed to doing this, and I'm glad that we're doing this. We need to spread the word.
And did he tell you his story in much detail?
Do you mean, did he tell me about the aliens?
Yes.
Of course he did.
And did you believe him?
Well, let me put it to you this way. I've never seen an alien myself. Is it possible that extraterrestrial life exists in the universe? Of course. I think it's very likely that it does.
This is the truth, the way I see it. They're not here to cut us up and look at our guts. Sure, maybe they did that for a hot minute in the 90s. You really think that a being intelligent enough to travel light years and pass through different dimensions is gonna care how the hip bone is connected to the thigh bone? No. They're here for an invasion.
Has John seen an alien? Has he really been abducted? That I cannot know. Just as I cannot know anything with absolute certainty. You could very well be a figment of my imagination. You certainly don't seem to be, but you could. So all I have to go by is what seems to make the most sense to me.
They're taking us and they're planting something inside us, right? There are 2 kinds of plants. The first is to turn us into their slaves. When they prepare to attack, then they just press a button and boom, we start doing their bidding. The second manipulates a more aggressive part of our psychology. The goal is to make us kill ourselves without even knowing that they did it. Gradually turning us into meaner, more violent people. They don't even have to do it to too many people. Just put a few important plants in some of the most powerful people in the world, and the hatred and destruction will spread.
How do you know this?
Because, it happened to me.
For all the schools of thought there are in this world, in the end, you have to go with your gut.
So when it comes to John, what does your gut tell you?
What does your gut tell you?
This is it, right here. Look at that. They planted it right here, behind my ear. That's a common place. Before I took it out, I noticed I started becoming a violent, more, aggressive person. They took me in 2009. About 6 months after I took that thing out, they took my wife. So they got their revenge. But soon, I'll have mine.
Have you been abducted more than once?
It's interesting you should ask me that. I went to see a head shrinker a few years ago. He put me under hypnosis. It was right after I took that thing out of my head. Anyway, under hypnosis, we discovered that this has been happening all my life.
What does that mean?
It means the Greys have always been there, even when I was a kid. Maybe they weren't taking me, but they were definitely observing, keeping tabs. You know how some kids have an imaginary friend? Or some people say they hear noises at night and they think it's ghosts? Well, it's more than likely it's the Greys at work. They do a funny thing to your head.
Do you still see a psychologist?
Nah.
Why?
Wasn't for me.
John's obsession is an addiction. When you have an addiction, you form a reality in your mind where that addiction, cigarettes, coffee, sex, drugs, has a significant meaning that goes beyond the momentary relief that it offers. The addiction provides meaning to one's very existence, to the point where not indulging in it causes an existential crisis of sorts.
You gonna go find more aliens, John? When are you gonna bring one back home? I'd love to see one, and what you're gonna do with it. You got a camera following you around? Must be pretty serious. You must have some good intel on where to find one. You know this guy's fucking crazy, right?
John's addiction is his belief in this narrative, this idea that he was abducted and that his wife was abducted. Without it, well, I'm not sure I'd want to see what would happen to John or to those around him if he were forced to know the truth.
You think he's dangerous?
I think that's obvious.
Hey, so what was the deal back there with that guy by your car?
Guys like that, whenever you're trying to expose the truth, you're always gonna have to deal with people like that.
Well, who is he?
He's just this guy who lives in my building. He's an asshole and really nosy, let me tell you. Before my wife got taken, I was an IT manager. I had to deal with a lot of non-believers in that department as well. So this guy's nothing new to me, don't worry about it. I was able to handle all the bullying back then, and I can take care of this guy too. You mind giving me a hand over here?
So what's your plan, John?
It's pretty simple, actually. I'm gonna kidnap one of them. There's been a lot of activity in this area in the last month. At least that's what the reports say. My triangulations also calculate that this area is a hotbed for activity. So there's a good chance that we'll see something.
John, do you feel that kidnapping one of them is justified?
Justified? There's no justice with the Greys. They're animals. There's no morality. They're monsters. You understand me? Monsters. Justified.
Hey, so John, when did you get real serious about doing your...
You hear that? What's that sound?
What? Oh my God, what the hell, John? What have you... I think it's him. Oh my, what the hell is that? John, how are you doing this?
Oh, it's definitely him. I'm gonna get him. No, John, don't gonna do it. John, stay here. Oh my God. Ah! No, John! Wait, come back, John!
John! I swear to God, if this is... What was that at the tent, John? Where are you? John. Oh my God.
I did it. I got one.
John, what the hell, man?
Who's there?
Oh, I finally got this guy.
Help me out, man. Help me.
John is not merely delusional. There's a chance he's psychopathic.
Okay. I'm not here to hurt you, man. I just want to help, but who are you? What is this? What's going on?
My name is Mike. I live in the same building as John. What the hell's he gonna do to me?
I've seen a willingness in him to do whatever necessary to realize his goal. One day, talking won't be enough.
Okay, John, this is not funny anymore.
I think it's best you get out of here.
John.
Stop this! Stop this!
John.
I think it's best you get out of here.
Oh, shit. John, come on, man. What made John this way?
I first saw John and his wife for couples therapy. He came in with a deep obsession with UFOs, and his obsession was putting a strain on their marriage. John believed he was abducted in March of 2009. He took her to the woods in Long Island and stranded her there for 3 days with no food or water.
John, what are you doing, man? Hey, John.
Help me out, man. Help me out.
You're all right, buddy. Nobody's gonna hurt you, John.
I think it's best you leave now.
John, this is your neighbor.
No, it's not.
John, this is not an alien. Look at
Mike!
him.
It's Mike!
It's Mike, your neighbor.
They took my
John,
wife.
okay. Nobody took your wife. This guy didn't take your wife.
They did take my
Nobody took
wife.
your wife. He didn't take your wife. He's
took
a
my
man. He's your
wife.
neighbor.
Help me!
John, I think you should leave.
Okay, John, calm down.
They
give me
took my wife.
John, give me the hammer. John, give me the hammer. Give me the hammer. All right, John. All right, calm down. All right.
He said he had to recreate the situation that he was in when he first made contact with them. That's when she had had enough and left.
Oh, shit.
He began to see me alone about 3 months later. He became more obsessed with aliens then.
Where is his wife?
All I know is she's living in New Jersey somewhere.
Hi. How are you?
John, what did you do?
What are you talking about?
John, what did you do to that guy in the costume?
What guy? What costume?
John! Your wife is in Jersey. She did not get abducted. She left you. That's the truth. If you hurt that guy, we will find out.
I don't know what you're talking about. Have a nice day. Thank you.
John.
Shit. My name is John Ketchum, and after the last 3 years of searching for my wife and coming up with nothing, I finally caught my big break. I've captured one. I've captured a gray. I'm gonna try and communicate with it in an attempt to find out where they took my wife. Hey, are you awake? Hey, where's my wife?
Please, man, just stop this, okay?
Huh?
I'm sorry. I won't bother you anymore.
I can't understand you. Please communicate with me in a way I can understand.
John, come back to the door. John.
Please, man, just let me go. I don't know anything. No. Please, I I don't know anything. Just let me go.
Where did they take my wife?
I don't know. It's all a big mistake. I'm sorry.
Where did they take my wife?
John!
Is someone out there? Please help me.
John! Stop! John! Yes, hello? This is 911? I'd like to report a crime. There's a man. He's torturing another man inside his apartment. They may kill him. I'm at 931 St. Mark's Avenue. Please, God, hurry. John?
No, please just let me go.
I'm gonna ask you one last time.
I'm sorry. I swear I don't know anything, man. I'm sorry. Please, God, no.
I'm afraid he'll never recover. I think I'm done talking now.